Americans face ongoing concerns about the economy and the affordability crisis. With high gas prices due to President Trump's war in Iran pushing annual inflation to the highest level in 3 years. Meanwhile, Trump is fixated on his own pet projects like his reflecting pool makeover and his White House ballroom, which the Washington Post reports will cost taxpayers, that's right, taxpayers, hundreds of millions of dollars after Trump insisted over and over again it would come at no cost to the American taxpayer.
It's being paid for 100% by me and some friends of mine, donors to it. The government's paying absolutely nothing. This is taxpayer-free. We have no taxpayer putting up 10 cents.
A detailed project summary prepared for the White House by the contractor more than 3 weeks before Trump's comments estimated the total construction cost at $600 million, with more than half of that coming from taxpayers.
We're donating it, not a penny to the taxpayer.
If you don't think $400 million of taxpayer money is a good investment to create a secure facility at the White House.
This is a gift. This is not going to be paid for by the taxpayer.
We're joined now by Democratic Congressman Brendan Boyle of Pennsylvania, ranking member of the House Budget Committee. Congressman Boyle, I was just in your state in Pennsylvania when the president visited the Mack Trucks facility in a swing district, no less. And one thing that struck me was that, yes, there are plenty of Republican voters or people who at least voted Republican in 2024 who are not happy about the economy, but they're not hearing about these projects, the president's vanity projects, which are going to cost them money, which he's also taking billions of dollars from his allies and then giving them government contracts back in return. So what are Democrats going to do? What do you want to do to make sure that those voters hear about these projects?
Well, good to be with you. And certainly I have been talking loudly to anyone who's listening about Trump's billion-dollar ballroom vanity project, the hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayer money that will be wasted in the process. Just this week, I led Budget Committee Democrats writing a letter to GAO to call for an investigation into this wasteful spending, to have a full accounting of it. And of course, as we know, the ballroom isn't the only vanity project. We have what's happening at the reflecting pool, which is now closed to visitors right before 4th of July, truly a disgrace. And then the arch that he wants to build right outside Arlington National Cemetery, a place that many of us believe is sacred, considering it is the national burial ground of our heroes and soldiers from every American war. And he wants to build an arch basically dedicated to himself and use taxpayer money to do it. So it shows you where his priorities are, building monuments to himself while he just doesn't care about the costs, the increased costs that American taxpayers are paying.
I want to stay on this topic and what Laura raised about, people who aren't talking about the projects, why they should care about it. Our producers put together sort of the total estimated cost of all of Trump's D.C. renovation projects. Actually, I'm sorry, it's from the New York Times. The East Wing Ballroom, Ballroom Bunker, Kennedy Center, City's Fountains, National Garden of American Heroes, Lafayette Park, Reflecting Pool, Eisenhower Executive Office Building, gilding, statues, and the Rose Garden. It all comes out to $1.2 billion. I guess in the grand scheme of things, the cost of the federal government, $1.2 billion is not a huge amount of money, but can you talk a little bit more about why we are talking about this, why this is an important focus of media coverage, and why voters, if they don't care about this, they should?
Well, first, I would say $1 billion is still real money. But even beyond that, it's what it symbolizes as well. This is a president who, by his own admission, does not think at all about the financial well-being of American families, and his conduct the last 18 months proves it. And it's pretty remarkable when you think about the fact that Donald Trump was all over my state, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, in 2024, saying that he would lower costs on day one. Those were exact words. Well, food prices are higher than ever. The price of gasoline, because of his disastrous foreign policy, is higher than ever. The prices for all sorts of consumer goods higher than ever, thanks to the Trump tariff taxes. And what is he focusing his time on, his energy, all of his attention? It's these sort of vanity projects. He should go off and become an interior decorator if that's what his heart desires. But let's get back to what really the president should be focusing on and Congress should be focusing on, and that is lowering costs for the American people. A majority of Democrats, Republicans, and independents agree. The number one issue right now is that America is too expensive, and we have a president who just doesn't give a damn.
Congressman, to your very point, let's show the video, Renee, of President Trump this morning driving to and then eventually walking through Lafayette Park. He's with the Interior Secretary. You can see the president there. This is a brand new video from this morning. He's with Doug Burgum, the Interior Secretary, and a few others. It wasn't on his official schedule, but a White House official says President Trump walked through Lafayette Park today to personally check on the restoration progress, one of the many D.C. landmarks being made beautiful again under his executive order signed nearly 1 year ago. Today, that part of that $1.2 billion that Jackie was talking about, when you have to, for voters, connect the dots, not just about the president's focus, right, on these beautification projects, but also on the alleged corruption that is happening where no bid contracts are being given to people who worked for the president at one of his other clubs at some point or something like that. How do you make all of those connections to people who are looking at so much of their money leaving their pockets? So they have bigger deals to worry about, but it is all connected.
Well, first, I have to laugh that you said he drove to Lafayette Park. It's across the street from the White House.
Well.
So the president's commitment to avoid exercise.
He walked eventually.
Well, congratulations to him taking a few steps. So nonetheless, that's the critical second part. First, I mean, the fact he's spending so much time and energy on vanity projects, all in honor of himself, is disgraceful and shows the man's ego and what he only cares about. But then that second part, that we, the American people, are paying the price. We're paying for it in terms of the taxpayer money that's being expended, but we are also paying for it in terms of the work that is not getting done, the work to lower costs right now, the fact that inflation is higher today than at any point in the last 3 years. We know there was an inflation spike, of course, after COVID. That happened all around the world. We were able to bring that back down. It was almost at normal by the end of 2024. And now here we are spiking again as if we're coming out of a pandemic. Why? Because of this president's disastrous policies. The combination of his tariff taxes combined with the disastrous decision to go to war in Iran, this has been a double whammy for American consumers, and there is no sign that there is any relief around the corner. That may be the most disturbing and worrying aspect of all.
Congressman Brendan Boyle, thank you so much for coming on this morning.